Hi, greetings from the Pacific Northwest. Bo here. Yesterday was the Olympia record show. One of these days I'm going to build up the gumption to actually film, at least flip it through the stacks. But two problems with that. I'm not very outgoing when it comes to some of this stuff. So, I have a feeling, when you're flipping through the stacks, you should be talking about things or making some sort of noise, just not showing record after record after record. Plus, it just kind of, I find it a little unnerving. Hey, here's a guy walking around filming everything. What the heck's he doing? So one of these days I'll build up the gumption, but I didn't do it this time. Sorry about that. Maybe next time. Another thing too, I took my good luck wallet. And it did bring me some luck, but what I was hoping is people would see me pull that out, and I made a big production of kind of sticking it near people's faces and opening it up and pulling out money, hoping they'd go, oh, I remember that TV show, and we get to talking about the wallet, and then maybe they, cut me some sort of a deal. Not one person mentioned my wallet. Apparently, there's not a lot of have gun with travel fans left out there. So, sorry, Richard Boone. Better luck next time. But we'll turn you so you can be seen in the camera a little bit better. We get Cheyenne as well. Anyhow, enough of me being stupid and silly. Talk about records. I'm going to start. Let's dive into it. I ended up getting a few things on the Island label. This was actually thrown in for free when I was looking through one guy's stack. He's like, I've had this thing for years, so you could see different prices on it. He's like, you can just take it. You can just have that record. This is called Rabbit. It might be the group. I don't know. It could be Broken Arrow. I think the group is Rabbit, and I think it's Broken Arrow. Might be the other way around. It's Island Records. Doesn't matter. It was a free record. I just pulled it up to look at it because I was curious about it. Anyhow, so according to Endless Strip, it wasn't an Endless Strip. I guess I looked at it on Discogs. It's classic rock, so which isn't really in keeping with the kind of stuff I like to collect. So we'll listen to it. We'll see what happens. It might go away. I was about to walk out the door when I saw this, and so I grabbed it. This is David Stoughton. What's it called? Transformer. Seen this many years ago. A guy that made videos. I can't even remember the name of his channel. He never showed himself. He did the boxes of got the big boxes of records. That guy. But this is one of the ones he got. So I was always intrigued by this. Turns out it's not folk. It's not rock. It's very avant-garde. It's kind of electronic. Kind of ahead of its time. A lot of people find it kind of annoying, but the price was right on it, and I remember seeing it in the video a long time ago. I was on my way out the door, so I popped on that one as well. And then there's good old Sandy Denny. This is also on Islands. This is from 1973. This is like an old-fashioned waltz, I believe it's called. What was she in? Fairport Convention, maybe? I don't remember. She got her claim to fame. She's got a really cool voice. I have listened to this. I like this very much. Good folk music. Next up, Fusion. This is on Atco. Interesting thing about this group, this is their one and only, but Ry Cooder guests on 7 of the tracks on here, playing some slide guitar for him. It's supposed to be kind of a bluesy, jazzy album. It's got a psychedelic reputation. It's got some fuzz guitar in it, but also it has Bill Wolf, who had been in the Peanut Butter Conspiracy, and it had the drummer. I can't think of his name. I don't see it on the back. When this band broke up, he joined a very late rendition of the Byrds. So this is going to be pretty cool. This is the one record that I'm sure that I overpaid on. I've checked it on Discogs later, and it's quite a few copies are available in that $8 to $12 range. I did spend more than that on it, but still, Ry Cooder on guitar. He's got some people that were in some other groups, so that's going to be a good listen. Looking forward to that. I've really been into Mr. Yonch. I can't find any of his solo stuff. But I did find another Pentangle record. This is Cruel Sister. It's on Reprise. That's for you, Chris Brzezinski. Reprise. So no reprisals about Reprise from you. So, they're folk music, acid folk. psychedelic folk, that kind of stuff. This, according to Endless Trip, has a terrible reputation, but it was only $1 because it's not in the world's greatest shape. This is Aorta, so I grabbed it just so I could say, hey, I've listened to it. A lot of people compare it to Blood Rock, which I'm not a big fan of that either. So it's on that Columbia. It's got a lot of scratches, not just hairline either. Some of them are, you can feel them. But so we'll give this a shot. It was the only dollar record I bought there. Everything else, I spent a fair amount of bread, but saved up for it. I purged part of my collection to be able to get some heavier hitter type things. I know this annoys people. Cheers. Or go to hell. No? Okay. Back to records? All right. Judy Sill. Now, Judy Sill is kind of an interesting person. She had apparently had been a prostitute at one time. She was a heroin addict. She got a couple records. They kind of have a pretty good reputation for being some pretty cool folk psych. And she disappeared. One of these songs. Of course, it's not popping out to me here. It might be on her second record, but one of her songs was later covered by the Hollies and was a hit. I think it was on her second one, something about Jesus and the cross or something like that. But yeah, so she died at a very young age. Interesting person, interesting life. So I found this and was very happy to pick that up. I know Chris Brzezinski is a fan of that album too. Honestly, not just being a smart aleck to him this time, like most of the time I am. This is an instrumental. This is Kim Fowley. Kim Fowley, we all know, has a very strange reputation in the psychedelic rock scene. And mostly this is cool, and it was cheap. It's cool just for the album cover because it's all instrumental stuff. The liner notes are pretty interesting too. Yeah, he's a weird guy. I'm not going to read them. They're bizarre. Kind of a freak. Kim Fowley, so won't go into too much depth on this. Hey, this was pretty cool find, I thought. This is T.S. Bonnewell, Sean Bonnewell. He'd been in the Music Machine, and I have both of those records. This is a solo album he did. It's folk music. He had started out as a folk singer before he went into the black glove garage rock scene for a couple records, and he went back into folk music. He also later was an actor. People didn't know that. You ever see the movie Swamp Thing? He was one of the bad guys in Swamp Thing. He had a couple lines in that. Not the main bad guy, but one of the henchmen. The 80s B classic Swamp Thing. But the interesting thing about this is this album is produced and arranged by Vic Briggs. Vic Briggs had been in a late rendition of Eric Burdon and the Animals, had been a guitar player, and he also plays some lead guitar on a couple of tracks on this record. So this is pretty good. I enjoyed that. This is one of the few I've listened to. So next up, and this has a terrible reputation, but I picked it up anyhow. I was on GMP Crescendo because it's super, super clean, and I've always wanted to hear it. I have not played it yet, but when I was reading about it in Endless Trip, not well thought of. This is Rainbow After the Storm. There was something kind of interesting about this. Well, maybe not. But anyhow, so it's heavy bluesy type rock. Probably not unlike the way, it's from that same era on GNP Crescendo where the Seeds had gone over to become kind of more of a blues act. And anybody who's ever listened to a spoonful of CD blues knows that it's wasn't that good. So this may not have been the greatest idea to pick up, but it was so clean I could not resist it. Last three are the really kind of cool ones. This is Pat Kilroy. Pat Kilroy, this is his one and only album on Elektra. A lot of people think of it as kind of a little bit, unfortunately, a little bit kind of run-of-the-mill, mundane kind of folk. This is one of the first albums to incorporate some psychedelic elements into a folk record. He died very young on Christmas Day in 1967. Some recordings he had made with another group came out later, but yeah, this is pretty much it from this gentleman. There's a book that the guy Richard Morton Jack, who did Endless Trip, put out about some of the greatest psychedelic albums of all time. Not just a collection of reviews, but you know, more of an in-depth on a certain number of albums. And this is the very first album in that book. I can't remember what it's called, but I have it in the other room. I have a copy of that book. So Pat Kilroy, pretty cool. I've not listened to it yet, but I'm really looking forward to that. And then these last two, this is Silver Apples. And Silver Apples, for its time, was very advanced. Some synthesizers, electronics kind of noise. But the interesting thing about this copy is it has the poster, if I can get it out. It's on cap. So, with the poster. Yeah, these guys were really, really ahead of their time. There's the restraint, because the jacket on this one, the vinyl's in pretty good shape, but the jacket is showing a little bit of wear. It's got a promo punch and it's got some scuffing on it, so you know, try to take care of it as best we can. And this last one was the first record I bought, and I got some help from Adam at Rainy Day, because it's a Rainy Day show. I said I saw this copy, but I don't really, you know, because I wasn't sure what the originals look like, and he's like, no, it's a second pressing. It's this 1970 pressing, but the price on it is very fair. But why don't you offer B instead of A and just see what she says? And I picked this up. This is Art Supernatural Fairy Tales. It's on Islands. This is a 1970 pressing, and I have listened to this. This is freaking fabulous. If you're a psychedelic rock fan, you can find this. Even if you got to get a reissue, I recommend this album highly. It's pretty dang good. I think these guys later went on to form a band that you guys might be a little bit more familiar with, but when they were doing this, some pretty good psychedelic stuff. Anyhow, so that's it. Those are my vinyl finds from my excursion to the Olympia record show. I had a good time. My wife, though, unfortunately, because I work and where I work, it's kind of on the way home. So we don't want to take two cars over there, so I just stop on the way home from work. So we haven't gone together the last two, but we're going to have to rectify that for the next one. I think I'm going to take a vacation day, but we can go from home and we can both go and have a good time. So, because it's a lot of fun. If you're ever in, say, Washington, May, November, they got two shows. Come on by. It's a good time's had by all. There's good food. There's good music, beer, wine. There's even a restaurant now in the basement. It's an Elks Club, so it's got a 5-star restaurant, believe it or not, in the basement. So. Good time was had by all. Anyhow, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.